This deal is not something that really makes much of a issue. I mean, this was in essence is a punt.
Right. Well, Republican Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee was weighing in earlier today on that debt deal on CNBC, and right now we're watching Capitol Hill to see whether Democrats and Republicans can whip enough members into supporting the debt deal. This, of course, has been a long, bloody fight, and almost nobody comes out of the debt debacle smelling like a rose. But as usual, you can typically find winners and losers. MSNBC political analyst Karen Finney is a former DNC communications director. Doug Heye held that position at the RNC and is now a Republican strategist. It's good to see you both today.
Thank you.
So the way this is going to work, I'm going to go through some of the major players. You tell me winner or loser and why, and do it really fast. Karen, let's begin with you. John Boehner.
Loser. You know, he has shown he can't control his people.
What do you think, Doug?
No, he has shown. You know, if that was a step back, he went down, he did the hard work. If there's one constant in Republican politics, it's never count out John Boehner. He's got more lives than Sinatra.
So really, in a choice between winner and loser, you're labeling him, Doug, a winner?
Absolutely.
Mitch McConnell.
He's pushed this through. Mitch McConnell, a winner. He helped push this through. You didn't hear from him every day necessarily, but you saw his team working together to make this happen. Compare that to Harry Reid. Big winner for Mitch McConnell.
Karen?
I say winner because he showed that he has no problem kneecapping Harry Reid and going right to the White House.
What about
getting his calls returned?
What about the Tea Party, Karen? Winner or loser here?
Winner. I mean, look, they showed that pitching a fit and acting like a child actually wins. That you can use extortion to get what you want. So absolutely they were winners.
Doug?
Well, I'd call negotiations democracy. I guess Karen, has a different view on that. But, you know, a lot of Republicans complained about the Tea Party's involvement. And I'll quote Ric Flair. You know, whether you like it or you don't like it, learn to love it. The Tea Party's here. They're not going anywhere.
All right. You already mentioned Harry Reid, Doug, so I'm going to skip you and go right to Karen with that one. What about Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, and the Democratic leadership, Karen?
I say winners because, look, I mean, at the end of the day, this deal is not going to get done without Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi. And a lot of people after 2010 were suggesting that somehow Nancy Pelosi was irrelevant. And you know what? When push comes to shove, they need her to get this done.
But Harry Reid, in the end, it sounds like he was left out of the final negotiations.
I don't think so. I mean, look, I think that was part of what we saw going on Saturday, but then I think on Sunday, look, the guy is a master of the procedural rules of the Senate. I think he figured out a way to flex his muscle and make it clear that we were not going to get to a final agreement without him. And you ended up at the end of the day with all of the Democratic leadership coming together.
Okay, so one of the people we know was there for the final negotiations, Doug Heye. We know that the Vice President, Joe Biden, was there. Winner or loser?
Winner, and he's on Capitol Hill right now trying to push the House Dems. We forget that Joe Biden, he makes so many crazy remarks, we laugh from time to time, but he's got relationships on Capitol Hill that go back to 1973. Yeah. That's significant.
Karen?
Winner, absolutely. I mean, he effectively used those relationships to help move a deal forward.
All right, what about President Obama, Karen?
I'm going to say I got to go 50-50. I mean, he got some things that he wanted out of this deal, which I think were very important, but he also kind of caved to with the bad behavior of the Tea Partiers and the Republican Party. It's
Doug.
not so good.
Look, he wanted tax increases. He didn't get them. He's a loser on this politically.
All right, and last but not least here, the American people, Doug, are winners or losers here?
Big winners, because elections have consequences. If we didn't make the change, if we didn't fire Nancy Pelosi as we did last year in November, by the way, I've got the Fire Pelosi banner in my truck if anybody wants to bid on it. But we made real change, and that's what we're seeing right now. We didn't raise taxes. The American people were winners.
Well, it's not really that she got fired, because she is still in Congress and is
She's
still
no
the Democratic
speaker, and that's
leadership.
a good thing for the country.
Karen, the American people, winners or losers?
You know, I think we don't know yet, because I do think that when we see the details that come out of the super committee, I mean, this conversation has been at the 30,000-foot, trillion-billion-dollar level, but what about people who deal in, singles and tens and 20s and hundreds? When we see what that impact is going to be in the African-American community, at that Main Street level in communities, then we'll know whether they were winners or losers.
You're delaying your judgment on this. I can see that.
I have to. I mean, but look, I think on some level, the American people lost a lot more confidence in Washington's ability to get things done, because, it shouldn't have been such a drama to get here.
Karen, Doug, thank you very much. We've covered more ground in a short period of time than ever before. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Breaking news right now. Casey Anthony has 70